Assalamu alaikum. Sulaiman Rahim here. Welcome. Welcome, brothers and sisters. Critical Analytics. Brothers and sisters and brothers, again, as I've been saying, I'm going to focus on the abomination of desolation because we're so close to it. Coming at it from a different perspective. A lot more detail. And maybe clear away some confusion. Especially to you deacons out there. You messengers of covenant. Because you have a special responsibility. Everybody else has to flee. But they have nowhere to flee to. And it's a two-step process. You have to flee to you, and then you're going to guide them to flee to all the blacks going to be. Like I said, it's going to be Illinois, Indiana, Michigan, that area. But you have a special responsibility because you have to stay put as long as you can, so people know what to do. Save as many of our people as possible. And there's a protection involved because if they flee to you, then there'll be your protection also. Because our people, they're not going to just allow them going to be delayed, allow them going to be confused, like I said. So there's going to be a brief period. I keep talking about that, a brief period. The period between the time war starts and time actual abomination of apartment of actually take place. I mean, abomination of desolation. From the time the war starts, that's the time you got to operate in, to the time the abomination of desolation actually takes place. That's that brief period you have to operate in. At that time, we have to be a beacon, keep our people from being disorientated, confused, because they're going to be confused, they're going to be disorientated, right? But we have to take and be there for them. That's what a beacon is. And that's an extra responsibility. So we don't just stop up and flee. So we have to be a focus point for them to come flee to, and then we flee with them. So just make that clear. Because they're getting this warning now. But this warning is not getting to everyone. That's not sufficient warning. That wouldn't be considered a fair warning. See? So you're getting a warning now, like a pre-warning, so to speak, before the war starts. Then once the war starts, they get another warning. You see. And then once the demon wars take place in NOI, then they get a national warning. So they're getting several warnings. See? Because that would take place, right, at the time America and Israel and false Israel and Britain is being defeated. See? Just got defeated. So the warning is getting more dramatic. So he's still, abomination of desolation hasn't taken place yet. And that's the time the beacons really go to work. That's the time they really go to work. Start notifying people, passing out flyers, whatever they need to do. See? Because he knows desolation is about to take place. Because that's when false Israel goes under siege. See? That's going to be very dark. See? At that point, that's the point, right, that a lot of people can come together. Like I said, once Nation of Islam is taken over, thousands of people are going to come running. They'll come running, thousands. That's going to spook America. See? Thousands of people are going to come in at that point. See? Once the war starts, thousands of people are going to come. Because at the point, Nation of Islam is taken, is moved, change hands. Thousands of people are going to come running. They have need to know where to run to. They ain't come all running to Chicago or wherever. See? That means they're going to start waking up. And you have to be the beacon and draw them to you. That's when the war starts. Because it said when the war starts, at the same time, the war of the demons take place. So the war of the demon takes place here, and the war of the dragon and God and Magog take place over there. They said both happen at the same time. See? That's going to draw lots of people. Because, there's a lot of people out there, right? That they were receptive to the Master's teaching and would be receptive to this, but they had heard it before. But they didn't want to have anything doing Farrakhan. So when he's going, it's going to attract a lot of people that used to be with the Messenger or left Farrakhan. And those people that would have responded to this message, they had heard it. Now they're going to hear it because Farrakhan's gone. See? They don't come run. They don't come run to wherever the Nation of Islam is headquartered, whoever takes charge. They're not going to run in. I mean, they're all over the country. So we have to have beacon points to run to. Be lights. Hope you understand, brothers and sisters. Sometimes I feel I'm not being clear enough. Some of this I'm leading up to just you understand if you're studying. Because some people think I meant, oh, everybody just takes off. No, well, you got beacons. They're going to take off where? To you first. That's why you're a beacon. Because at that time, right, you got people all over the country. You got people on the West Coast. They're not going to come run into wherever Suleiman is. See? But they're going to come to wherever he's represented. That's beacons. And that period starts at the time the war starts. That's when the stirring starts. First signs of the resurrection starts when the war starts. So you got that. From that point until the time the abomination of desolation actually takes place. That's the period you got to work in. And people are going to start coming. And you have to be prepared for them. See? And if you have to spread as much information as possible, right, to the churches or whatever. Because as I said before, your prophecy is going to shine at that point. Because you're telling people what's about to happen, and you're putting information about, right, in the churches or whatever. See, telling people how this war is going to end. See, so that's when your prophecy power kicks in, because you're telling people, because they don't know how the war is going to end at that time when the war starts. Remember, they're thinking that the war is going to be one way. They're taught one way. And that's going to be a big shock. See, it's going to be several shock waves. The first shock is the war itself. Because a lot of black folks still don't believe the war, they don't have no sense of a war. I mean, some people paying attention, but you'd be surprised. A lot of black folks out there have no idea what's about to take place. Because they so stuck in that belief matrix. Have no idea what's about to take place. They're not paying attention to any of this. And Farrakhan's not that influential anymore, and plus he's talking all around the place. Nobody knows what he's talking about. All generalities. So when the war takes place, that's when you make your move. Because now you're telling everybody, because that's going to get everybody's attention. That's going to get everybody's attention. That's where America's at war, in the Middle East. That's going to get everybody's attention, like this Afghanistan thing. It's going to get everybody's attention. See? But those that are paying attention have a certain expectation of how it's going to end. And those not paying attention, they're going to realize there's a war taking place. But they have no idea how it's going to, they don't have no expectation. They just don't know how it's going to happen, how it's going to go down. And a lot of them, they know they see a war taking place and they don't have an expectation, but they just assume that, hey, America's at war, they're going to win it against Iran. So it's different attitudes people are going to have. Anyway, they're going to be focused on the fact that America's at war. And this war is not going to last long. See, but you tell them exactly how it's going to end. America's going to be defeated. So that's your first prophecy victory. Because when it's defeated, that's going to draw a lot of people to you. Because not only you tell them it's going to defeat, you say it's defeated and this is going to happen as a result. So now you say America's going to be defeated and then false is going to be under siege. You understand, brothers and sisters? So you saying this. So all of a sudden they see America defeated. Then they're going to have you're going to have their attention then. Your light's going to shine then. And a lot of them will come running to you. Want to know more what's happening. That's why you have to be prepared. Okay? So you 2 or 3 steps ahead because you're saying, not only America's defeated, but now false Israel is going to be on the seat. America's immediately going to war with China and North Korea and Europe. You see what I'm saying? But desolation Obama's desolation hasn't taken place yet. But you're saying these things and you see these things happening. I mean, you still got a brief window to work in. That's your window to work in. That's you drawing people to you. Because now you already said these things. They say, oh man, America with the war. Bam, America lost the war. Bam, now America's fighting in a war with China, and a war with North Korea, and a war with Russia. Right? Quick right after. And you said these things. That's contrary to what the preacher said. Because now the preacher lost all credibility. All these other prosecutors all lost credibility. Farrakhan's told he's already gone at that time. Because remember, this during the time that the demon wars, so they're already thrown out. And now you also got Suleiman, right, spreading this message all over the country. See? Well, see how bright your light is getting? You draw them to you, thousands. And when you put this information out there, so now they come into, because you constantly tell them, this is what's happening. Because you remember, you told them a lot of this stuff, and as soon as the war started, you put that information out. So now they see it happening. A, B, C, D. Just like I said, Mom, this desolation hasn't happened yet. But you tell me all the steps leading up to it. So what's all the steps, right? You told them all, right? Because you already been telling them the war's going to break out. That's going, because a lot of people pay attention to that. There's thousands, hundreds of thousands of people who's already heard that message. See? So right then, they got their attention. As soon as the war breaks out, you got their attention. And some come running to you then. That's why you're a beacon. Right? And then you start putting information out more directly, right? To the churches and every place around you, right? That how the war is going to end. See? And all other steps that leading up to the abomination of desolation. That's what you're telling the people. Say the war's about to end. America's going to be defeated, right? And her defeat, she's going to immediately built war with China and North Korea and Russia, right? And as far as it's going to be under siege. Now you say all that as soon as the war started. And then all of a sudden, bam, America loses the war. Uh-oh. Now, remember at first the war started. That drew a lot of people. Then second, now war in America defeated. That's going to draw a lot of people because you already said it. They see, that's going to a lot of people, oh man, he said the war was going to start. Let me get over there. See? So some of them going to be your helpers to put out this information. Because remember, once the war started, that's when you're going to go out and put information about the churches and all that kind of stuff. You're going to go and talk to the people, get flyers, whatever you're doing. So now all these people came to you once the war started. Now they'd help you during that process. When you tell them all the other steps that's about to happen. So then the war ends. They said that because that wasn't what they're expecting. They're being told the church and everything else. That's why the churches collapse. Preachers collapse because they weren't supposed to lose that war because they preached, man, now they're at war over there. America's getting ready to wipe out Iran. They telling the story. And now you told them that wasn't going to happen. And then it happened like you said. Now all those people come run into you. How many people you got now? 2 waves of people. The first came when the war started. The second came when America was defeated. And also, as soon as America was defeated, they're going to be at the war. Now they're at war with China and North Korea. And boom, that's third wave. Now they come and run into you. All these people run into you. Now you know how this is going to end. And you know these people have to flee. But now they all run into you. See, that's why you're a beacon. See? So you don't flee alone. So then, as far as this goes under siege, another wave. Who's that? The 4th wave? That's going to really. See, all these waves of people. Now all these people coming running to you. See, that's at the point, right? But all those people, that's when you start moving. You bring all these people with you. Some hundreds, thousands of people, whatever. Because you already told them, we got to move. Y'all got to move now. Let's go. Pack up, go. Because as far as this, we're getting ready to go to that abomination desolation. We don't need to be gone by then. You understand? That's why you're a beacon. See? And in that way, in that process, you're going to get another wave. Because all these black folks see you're moving, all these people moving, they're going to say, hey, what the hell is going on? And so they're going to be asking questions, why y'all doing? And they're going to, I'm just going to get along because they say, hey man, everybody's doing it. They'll see 100,000 people moving with you. That's how you're big, and that's how you're going to save a lot of people's lives. So I make that clear. No, you don't flee. Because we talked about that before. As I figured you understood. When I'm talking flee, right, I'm talking in general to the people out there. But as soon as you understood that you're a beacon, that really doesn't apply to you. Because what it is, you're going to flee. But first of all, you're going to bring thousands and tens of thousands of people with you. And they're going to be your protection. But you stay until the last minute. Right? Because as soon as Israel goes under siege, right, you know that, okay, now I got to go, move. Because we don't want to be here when it actually goes down. See? Hope you understand, brothers and sisters. See? So our plan that we talked about is still in effect. Nothing's changed. See? Sometimes I feel like I need to slow down a little bit. See? I think some people misunderstand. They don't put 2 and 2 together. So, I wanted to point that beacon situation out, but I'm going to go into something else a little more detailed here. See? This is a subject that, I mean, it's timely now. But I don't like to go into things like this. I try to keep things simple. But this gets kind of complicated. See? But I feel I need to talk about it because it makes you understand more clearly exactly why things are going to transpire like they're transpiring. See, we got that sealed Bible. When we talking about no, how you say it? A house divided cannot stand. What do you mean by that? House divided cannot stand. Oh, Mr. Farrakhan, I think he speaks to that, talking about, well, Satan throwing the cast now. Satan, well, yeah, there's something to that. But remember, we're talking about the sealed Bible at this point. So what do you mean house divided? Because the unsealed Bible talks about, I bring division. Mother against daughter, father against son, mother against daughter-in-law, daughter against mother-in-law. That's the unsealed version of that. But sealed version says house divided cannot stand. See, America's divided against itself. And I say this gets complicated because that whole subject about Adam is complicated. Because you say, well, why would people told us submit to somebody to make mischief blood? Then you got to go into deprivation and explain all that stuff that goes along with that. And that's what you have to do to explain this. Because it sounds contradictory. See? But those you've been studying, I guess you'll understand because it clears up a lot of things. It may confuse some people. You have that sealed Bible there. Remember, that was the guidance. Because during that period of time that the sealed Bible, right, given to Adam was the righteous because he was doing, right, what the scriptures say he's supposed to do. That's why angels told Smith, because if you in tune with the scriptures, you're in tune with the universe, then you are the righteous at that time. And the right universe was in, like the message called, unrighteous orbit. So that means the unrighteous was the righteous. So Adam was righteous during this time because he was doing the will of God. So you look at the Genesis. Well, wait a minute. The Genesis, I'm not gonna submit to him. You say, well, then you're on the side of the jinn, man. Why would I be submit to somebody that's gonna make shit? I mean, you sympathetic with the jinn, right? You see how complicated this gets? That's why a statement in the Quran says, and then, right, the wrongdoers are the disbelievers are the wrongdoers. So you mean they wasn't the wrongdoers before? I think I'm saying that correctly. Because during Adam's time, he was getting rule, and we're supposed to submit to him because his rule was the righteous rule for that time. It might have been bad water, but it was better than no water. So he was the one that was empowered, right, and guided by Allah during that period of time. See, it tells you. He made it. It says man won the rule, and he was given the guidance. So I mean, it gets kind of complicated. Why would he get somebody that's going to make mischief of blood guide them? Because the Quran says Allah does not guide the unjust. But they weren't unjust during that time because they was in sync with the scripture. See, just like the jinn went in sync with the scripture for 1,000 years, they're not anymore. When Adam came along, they weren't anymore because they said, I'm not submitting to any of that stuff. So they was called the unjust. They was called the disbelievers for not submitting to someone to make mystery shed blood. You see how complicated that gets? It gets kind of confusing. That's why I don't like to talk about it too much. So, how you got the sealed Bible there? So you understand that, okay? Those that follow that guidance, they're the just for that period of time. So who's the unjust? Those that don't submit and those don't follow the rules of Adam, his rule, and those who are defined as being unjust in those rules. That's the one's going to get you. See? Because in his rule, right, women are unjust. They brought sin into the world, according to Adam and Eve's story. So he puts down women. He oppressed women. See? LGBT, whatever, they're cursed in his rule. It says, hey, you know, in fact, in whatever scripture, they have issues. So he puts them down. He rejects them. Black people are cursed in his rule. They from Noah. They was cursed black. See? So they have Satan. They're Satan's children. See? Cursed to be enslaved. So they enslaved them. See? They oppressed the women because they are sinful. They're easily led by Satan. See? And we were enslaved, right? Because it was cursed to be enslaved. So they was following the rules. They was rejecting the LGBT because it says, hey, right? None of that. You understand? This was the vision he was given, the guys he was given. So this was acceptable and this was unacceptable. And you could do this, you could do that. So you could enslave blacks because they was perfectly okay to enslave them. Because they was cursed black. See? Encouraged to be enslaved. It said that they were supposed to be enslaved forever. You oppress women because they're inclined to be sinful. See? They're susceptible to whatever Satan says. They listen to him, so you got to. You see what I'm saying? So that's the world that Adam born in. You see? Okay, so now, once you have that world, those people that he's putting down, remember, they're going to resist. They're alive, they resist because this world's against them. They're going to resist it. Naturally. Even those enslaved, right? They submit, but still they don't want to be oppressed. Nobody wants to be oppressed. And Adam told them not to oppress them. I mean, he said, don't go near that tree, so it wasn't supposed to destroy them. I mean, they could enslave them. That's a form of oppression. But they went far beyond that. See, there's boys over here that's made us work. That'd been one thing. They went far beyond that. So black folks resisted that, and they had a right to resist it. They were supposed to submit to Adam, right? They weren't supposed to kiss his ass. So black folks resisted when like the Quran talks about they exceed the limits. Adam exceeded the limits. They resisted because they went far beyond that. He said, "Okay, I'm coming. I'll come and I'll work for you, right? Okay, fine." And then all of a sudden now you're gonna beat me and everything. Well, I'm gonna resist that part. See, we weren't told if we was gonna be raped and murdered, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, obviously we resist that. We're supposed to. I mean, any right person, Allah would never ask us to submit willing to that kind of stuff. So when I say we submit, I'm not talking about we submit to that. Because if we submit to that, right, then what's the point even judging Adam? He's being judged because his oppression, it says affliction. It said he would be judged because his affliction, not because of enslavement, because the affliction that he imposed upon us. And that we had a right to reject that. We had a right to resist it. So now you got the women resisting, being second, third, and fourth class citizens, being oppressed. You got LGBT, they resisting, see, because they're being oppressed by Adam, because the Bible is telling Adam to do that. And you got the blacks, right? They resisting, see, they resisting being murdered and raped and hung. So you got two sides going at Adam, and that's what talking about house divided. And so right now you see it really coming into focus. You see, women's right, social rights movement, civil rights movement, the gay movement, right? And so wow, it's coming in fruitation. So now you got two Americas, and it boils down to Republican America and Democratic America, as we see represented by Mr. Trump and Mr. Biden. The two are in conflict with each other. That's why his election was contested, because you had these two factions opposing each other vehemently. You have a coalition, unnatural coalition together. Because who's supporting the Democratic Party? See? The women, the gays, the blacks, those marginalized by Adam's rule. See? That's what meant a house divided. So America's divided right now along those lines. But the thing about it, see, because most of these are demons. See, the blacks are still marginalized. They're kind of like not really the original seed of Abraham. They're not really in that like the demons are. It's mostly demons, trying to pull us along that. But you understand? But blacks do have some dealings with that, because remember they've been oppressed and everything else, but they don't really want to identify with that. But some of them do. A lot of them do. See? So they're against. See, because a lot of them, I mean, it's kind of confused. I'm not going to go ahead next level. That makes more confusing. But anyway, you got the two Americas, divided against itself, strongly divided. See, against themselves. That's what it's talking about. It says, house divided cannot stand. And now you see America's, that's causing all kinds of confusion in America's. It's rocking America. You see fault lines everywhere. That's what it's talking about. See? But both sides, you understand, are against the unsealed Bible. Both sides, right, are together when it comes to false Israel. So it's like you have Team A against Team B. See? But Team B is divided into Team B plus and Team B minus. They're two groups. See, they're against each other, but both of them against Team A. It's like that. So both of them against us and being the true seed of Abraham. Both of them. See? But they're against each other. But when it comes to us, they're united against us. And that's what's going on, brothers and sisters. See? So they're divided amongst themselves, but they're united when it comes to us. Behind the idea about being a true seed of Abraham. See? So you got the demons, the gays, the females, the white females. That's primarily makes up the democratic body. Primarily. Think about it. We got a big hint right there, the democratic, demon. See? So you got the evangelicals on the other side, so-called Republicans. See? They hate us with a passion because, remember, we're supposed to be enslaved. We're supposed to be enslaved because we're cursed black. See? Because they won't tell you this. They did talk about what's on plantation, but we are Satan to them. To them, according to their Bible, we are the devils. From their point of view, we are the devils. From their point of view, we are the devils. Because devils are black. Especially with nappy hair, with marks. Everybody will see us. We was cursed to be slaves forever. Because we were sinful. Like Farrakhan saying, we're so sinful. So when Elijah Muhammad called them devils, right? That's what they was thinking. That's what they were calling us. You know, haven't you heard say they were talking about black music was devil music? Well, if it's devil music, it means the devils must be the one producing it. In their minds, we are Satan. Not only that, but the people on the Democratic side, they think the same thing too. The demons think the same thing too. The white women think the same thing too. The gays think the same thing too. They just against Adam because Adam oppressing them. It's not they don't agree with him, they just don't be oppressed by him. It's not they don't disagree with him, it's just they don't be oppressed by him. That's what the division is causing. It's not a clash of visions. They have the same vision. It's just that they're not getting up their fair part of it. They want to get equal part. They want to get equal part of this vision. They want to be included in this vision. They don't want exclusion. They want inclusion, integration. There's one master's keeping him out of it because he says, no, I don't want you part of this. Not with that behavior. And especially of those black women, you can do anyway. We don't want you. Do you understand, brothers and sisters? I said this would be kind of complicated. You have to think it through. So they're together on that point. Or the vision, that same vision, this is master's keeping them from sharing it with him. From their point of view, we still the devils. We still Satan to them. They won't tell you that. And especially the Democratic Party won't say it because they need your support, right? To keep power, to achieve their agenda. But they still want you to go along with their vision. They don't want you talking about no Abrahamic covenant, that vision. They won't accept that over there. They might talk about critical race theory and everything else, but they're not accepting the Abrahamic covenant vision for us. And that we the true seed Abraham, they ain't accepting none of that stuff. Because what does that mean to them? So once you understand that, because our vision totally wipes out their vision. So if we start talking about we just true seed Abraham and all that kind of stuff, that means what? That's destructive for them. Remember, we want a team against their team. And what does their Bible tell them? That's why you have to go and read this carefully. You have to connect the dots. What does it say about the synagogue of Satan? It says those who say they're Jews and are not, right, are the synagogue of Satan. It says God's gonna make them, right, gonna make those worship at Adam's feet. Destroy them. Totally humiliate them. So you only got two contenders for who's the true seed Abraham. Right now, we have that third contender, the spiritual seed of Abraham, but they put that aside right now because they put that false Israel up to counter what Elijah Muhammad said. So you got two open contenders right now. Two open contenders. Since Elijah Muhammad announced it, you got two open contenders. That's us, the true seed of Abraham, and false Israel over there. Will set up to counter us being. So in other words, that verse applies to one of us. One of us are the synagogue of Satan. One of us, because that's what the verse says. Only two people competing for it. Two open contestants for it. Two open claimants. That's us and them. So who that verse applies to? From Adam's point of view, it applies to us. See, when you understand that, that shows you, that explains a lot of stuff. Once you understand it, because from their point of view, that applies to us. That tells you what they're really thinking. That means we're the synagogue of Satan. We're the devils, and we're going to be destroyed. And when this happens, when Jesus appears, when this war takes place, and all of a sudden Israel's surrounded, and it comes, and it looks like all hopes are lost. And that's when Jesus comes back and puts down the synagogue of Satan, destroys it, and says that the true Israel. That is what they're really teaching. They don't come out openly say it to you, but that's what the Bible tells them. See? They all read the scriptures. They all know about that part. And so who's that verse applies to? So if you think that verse applies to, if you believe in that, then whoever you think that verse applies to, you're going to be totally against. Because there's Satan and the devil. You got to get rid of them. Because you're going to be doing Jesus, helping Jesus. Because now when Jesus returns, right, you're going to be warriors for Jesus. When he shows up, you're going to be warriors for him. Everybody's going to be warriors for him. Because that's what he says. When he comes with a sword. That's war. So he's going to come and save the true Israel. And he's going to destroy the false. The first thing he's going to do is destroy the false Israel. And from God's point of view, that's us. Destroy him. Hope you understand, but I'm trying to get you understand the climate. See, because these people have been told that for hundreds of years. That's part of the reason why they enslaved us, because we were Satan to them. We cursed black. So now the war takes place, and now here we come right to the what they call it, the climax. False Israel under siege, but from that point of view, Israel's under siege. And the expectation is war is about Jesus about to return. Remember in Exodus when Joshua showed up, right? There was a sound of war, but it wasn't a sound of victory or a sound of defeat. That means the war is going on, but it hasn't the victory or defeat. The war is still going on. Nobody's, so it's a point, you know, of anxiety. Which one's going to win? But they was anticipating their side was going to win. False Israel. That's the climate. That's where it's going to be. Expectation. And then the big letdown. False Israel under siege. And oh man, Jesus is going to come in any second now. Because that's what he said. He's going to save them at the darkest hour. And then they're gone. And Jesus didn't return. See? But there was a divine intervention over the Middle East that allowed the Shia to destroy American forces over there and British forces. And the Shia also the one took down false Israel. Now, how will you think people would think at that point in time? Because now the opposition, the false vision, has just been destroyed. The foundation of it just been destroyed. Because the whole foundation of the system is based on false Israel being the real Israel. This whole world's vision right now is based on that. That's the foundation of it. And now it suddenly crashes. And the only vision that is our vision. And we've been telling them, and everything we say has come true. And now, right? So, they're the synagogue of Satan now. And we the gods, we the angels. See? That's not only going to affect the Christians here, it's going to affect the Sunnis too. Because they're already preaching against them and telling them, because now we know who Adam is, it's clear, and so they was the one dismissed, they're the jinn. And that means that land belongs to us. So they're going to be in opposition too. All the enemies going to come, and all other China and India, they're going to have a problem with it too. Because, right? Because now we're going to control all the resources of the world. The Shia already control the Middle East. And India and China are dependent upon that oil in the Middle East, totally dependent upon it. And the Shia are with us. And we're going home over there. So you got the whole world against us at that point, the Sunnis, death and Hades, the devils, the demons, everybody. But that exact moment, the one we have to be concerned about mostly are the devils. Because they're under attack every place else, and all of a sudden, because we're in direct contact with them. And everybody's going to be on their side. Yeah, get rid of them, niggas, get rid of them. Because nobody wants us to succeed. And it's going to be crystal clear, brothers and sisters, what the stakes are at that point. Because everybody's gotten their thoughts, everything's coming into focus. All the scriptures and everything is coming into focus at that point. That's the focal point. All the scriptures, that's why I said when you see Jerusalem surrounded by armies, that's a silver vision. That's clear enough right there. It says everything. It says at that time, all the things that was prophesied, right, will come to pass, will be fulfilled. That's all things that was prophesied will be fulfilled. That means be clear in everybody's mind exactly what the deal is. Everybody. For some people, too late. Because if you caught up and you down in the suburbs, around there, scratching your behind, watching the NFL, if they even possibly watching the NFL at that point in time, you ain't gonna make it. Your neighbor's gonna, you ain't gonna make it to the car. And if you get to the car, you ain't gonna make it to the end of the block. That's why I said time of unprecedented trouble. For who? It tells you who. It says that time of Jacob's trouble. That means time of our trouble. That means they're going to be trying to annihilate us. Everybody. That's why we got these beacons out there. Trying to get as many as possible. Hope I'm making it clear enough, brothers and sisters. So, a nation divided cannot stand. So, America is divided against itself, but not divided against us. They're united when it comes to us, and that's what we have to. That is the problem. See, that's what we're up against. That's why Elijah Muhammad responded. Some brother, I was present doing theology time. When the last Elijah Muhammad speak, he spoke several times. He said, "Hey, I can't wait till all this happens." Elijah Muhammad said, "No, brother, don't pray for that day, because you do not know what you're up against. And he says, Master Muhammad refused to allow him to tell what we're up against. And so if that he told him, refused to tell him, that means it wasn't in the message of the black man, it wasn't how he lived, wasn't in those books. Because in other words, why would he refuse to tell him something that already was out there? He says, brother, you don't know what you're up against. Now I'm telling you what you're up against. I've never been more clear than I am now. That's why I'm pushed so hard all this last week. I'm continuing because we're at the door of it. And you beacons out there, you have a special responsibility. Because you have to keep your eyes open, but you also have to save as many people as you can. Because you're going to be the only light they see. But then again, they're going to be your protection too. You're going to be surrounded by them. See, as you move, as you flee with them, with you. So that's when you understand the sealed Bible. See. And all those groups, right? What do you think they're going to be doing? See, because once we all come together, right? How long is that going to take? A couple days or whatever? At that point, it's not going to be any food, no distribution. When the food that was in the supermarket, they're all gone. So then we see next step. We have what happens there. They said now starvation's coming. The food supply is already being compromised right now because of all the weather. That's the target of it. See, because it said their God is their stomach. That's what God's hitting them at. In their stomach. That's one of the plagues that will hit them. Aside from the wars, that says everything's going to hit them at once. There ain't going to be no 7-year tribulation. Hit him at once. All the plagues. It says pestilence before him and plagues follow after him. See the pestilence now. See. So now, we're gone. A lot of black folks laying all over the streets dead because they didn't pay attention. They got caught up. And we can't sit around and wait for them. That's why you're getting these warnings. You're getting warnings now. It says you got different phases. Get it now. You don't get the warning when the war starts. You get the warning when the victory of the Shia. You don't get the warning when they go into siege. You don't get the warning when they go to war with Russia and China and North Korea. Right? You don't get a universal warning. And that's all the warning you're going to get, because the next one is you're going to be gone and you're going to be dead. So the warning getting brighter and brighter because you never was told anything like I'm telling you right now. And the war's going to get brighter. And you have the beacons out there warning you. So you have ample warning, brothers and sisters. So if you get caught up, that's be on you. And be your fault, totally. Because you will get ample warning. That's why I got to take the demons out. So you get national warning. Because it said, this gospel, this angel will be taught in all the world. This ain't just in America, just in Florida, or just in New Jersey, or just in Kansas. It said be all the world. And then the end will come. And that's about to happen. Because first we take the demons down, it's going to be a national message. The Nation of Islam is under new control. Farrakhan was thrown out. That's going to be big news. And on that news, it's going to be what that person is talking about. This is his message. See? That America is about to lose that war in the Middle East. It's going to be totally vanquished. And immediately they're going to go to war with China and North Korea. That's going to be big news all over. This person called Suleiman, he says America ain't going to be defeated. Man, he must be out of his mind. See, that's going to be big news. You see? Then America is defeated. He said it. It's going to be big news. And he says they're going to immediately go to war with China and China and Korea and Russia. Right after that, a few days after, bam! They ain't gonna shut that down. That'll be big news. Spreading all over the world. Every day it's getting brighter and brighter and brighter. Now they war. And the false Israel going under siege. Big news. See? He gonna have a microphone. Everybody be listening. Telling black folks, you better, y'all come after you. Big news. So you're going to have ample warning. And the beacon's going to be telling you, reflecting that news all over the country, telling you, hey, yeah, okay, this way, okay. Oh, brother, okay. Well, what should I do? See? So they're going to come running to you. Your beacons out there. Okay. And you're repairing them. And you keep your eyes open because you know, as soon as false Israel going to siege, you know it's time to, okay, let's start moving. Take as many as you can. Or listen. And allow them going to see all out moving, they're going to move with you. That's going to save a lot of our people. You beacons going to, that's if you're on the case, you're paying attention. Hope you understand, brothers and sisters. That's what's going on. So I try to make it clear as possible. See? Try to make you understand psychology, what's going on. Because it's going to be very clear at that time. It's going to be so clear. Like Muhammad said, truth be so clear in the food in our earth. It'll be so clear at that time. So that means nobody's going to hiccup. See? All white folks going to know exactly what's at stake. When they see false Israel go down, they're going to know exactly what that means, what it means for them, and what it means for you. And they're going to get rid of you, eradicate you if they get their hands on you. If they ain't going to waste no time. At that time, right, food's going to be food shortages, food distribution lines are broken, right? Chaos in the streets, right? War all over, all America being defeated all over the world. They're at war and getting their ass kicked. Think of that climate. At time falseness actually goes down, there'll be hunger in this country, raging through this country, with no prospect of food anywhere. Okay. And you're going to look more appetizing. I'm trying to show you what the climate's going to be like, brothers and sisters. It don't take long to get there. Not in this country. Because nobody stores anything. They it's convenient. I just go to the store and get stuff. Okay, you can't go to the store to get anything. So always, then you run there and everybody's fighting in the parking lots for where the food left in the stores. So even if you, at that point, if you try to go there and get something what's left in the stores, you have to fight to get it. To even get in the stores, the parking lot, everything before, everybody's taking whatever there is left. And can you depend on electricity working at that point in time to keep your refrigerator running? Because if it ain't, that means what you got in there is spoiled. And even if it is running right, how long is it going to take to eat up what you just got? 2 or 3 days? Especially at the rate they eat. So it says that God's going to hit them at right there at the hunger. So they're going to be starving to death. So what kind of mentality will they have on that? They already tell you they'll eat their own children. So would they eat you before they eat you? You know they will eat you before they eat their own children because you're 3/5 of man anyway. You're not even really human to them. So if they eat their own children, do you ever have to spell everything out to you? If you got so desperate that you eat your own children, would you eat other people before you eat your own children? If you got so desperate, I'm just saying we have to be like that because we're not going to be like that. But because we're going to eat. See, all preparations were made. Master Muhammad's taking care of everything. See, but if you were so desperate to eat your own children, wouldn't you eat other people's children first? Wouldn't you eat other people first before you eat your own children? You understand? So it's telling you, you don't have to come and tell you to eat you. They tell you they're going to eat their own children, so you know that means what they're going to be doing to you then. If they're so desperate they're going to eat their own children, what you think they're going to be doing to you? You got to read between the lines, brothers and sisters. It said the woman be so desperate that if she goes into labor, she'll hide it. All that pain and everything, she's going to keep it silent. That's how desperate she's going to be. Keep it silent. Because she wants to eat that baby and then after birth for herself. She don't want to share with her husband or anybody. If it exists, that means she'll have to kill that baby so it's born because it can't make any noise. And she wants to eat it and after birth too. You see, I showed you the scripture. So if she's willing to, what the hell will they do with you? And this won't be a couple of days, this is only a few days in. A week at the most, they'll be starving. And the plague will be raging. And they're getting their ass kicked all over the world. And China is on the way to invade. And the weather's just tearing this country apart. And now black folks are united against them. All this happens so fast in a blink of an eye. That's why men be walking around drunk without having a drink because they're going to become so confused they can't keep up with it. That's what it says. They run from the lion, right, and run into the bear. I'm not a great spokesman, so maybe I don't make it clear enough to you what this is being like, brothers and sisters. That's what a time of unprecedented trouble. But said we'd be delivered out of it. But it'd be unprecedented trouble for us because they're going all that anger. There says be wrath upon these people. That's who you flee from. It's be wrath, God's wrath, not no prophet's wrath. The God's wrath upon these people. And who they going to take that wrath out on? You. If they're under wrath, they're going to be taken out on you. They're going to look somebody to tear apart. Because they know that's where it's coming from. It's coming from you. It's all this happening because of you. All this happening because of you. It's going to be easy to blame you because you're to blame. You're going to be blamed for all the stuff happening to them. And you are to blame. All this happened because of you. So somebody catching hell because of if you getting all hell because of what somebody doing and you're going to take them out? It's going to be totally clear to them at that point, brothers and sisters. Where this is coming from. It's coming from you. Because of you. So they're going to tear you apart immediately. I hope I get my point across, you brothers and sisters. I hope you can understand it. Because that's what you're about to see. Time unprecedented trouble. Make children gray-headed. Children can't stay home because they're going to be eaten. They know it. So they're around the streets. But they know if they go out in the streets, they're going to be eaten. And they have nothing to eat either. And they know they eat each other. So when we're hanging out with other kids, there ain't going to be no gangs. See? So child, he's totally alone. He or she totally alone. He or she, it could be a 5, 6-year-old girl, a 4-year-old girl. If they understand that they're about to be eaten, they're going to run out. They got sense enough to run out. Especially see, Sally just got eaten. Sally disappeared. And when they're eating raw. Had no electricity and stuff to cook anything. That's what it's going to be, brothers and sisters. When that woman, she kills up, when she had give birth to that baby in silence, keep anybody, all that pain, right? She's not going to cook that baby. Well, they said boil it. They said boil it. So I guess at some point, they still have some ability to cook. So it does say you should be boiling it. But that won't last very long. Because at some point, they're going to start eating it raw. See? So I question the boiling part. That may be figurative, because if she boiled, that means everybody's going to know she's cooking something. Because if they're hungry, you can smell it 1,000 miles away. So maybe that's figurative when they say boiling. Either way, it's telling you, if they're going to do that to their own children, what they're going to do to you. Trying to make it plain, brothers and sisters, that's time of unprecedented trouble. It says, and it also tells you it's time of Jacob's trouble be delivered out. That means time of our trouble. Why? Because they're going to come against you like a vengeance. They'll come with you with a vengeance. And that's just the devils. I ain't really gotten to the Sunni and all those people. See? I'll just say a little about that, and then close out. You read it carefully. Exodus. It was Elijah, Moses, that destroyed the Sunni. So everybody had a part to play here. It says he destroyed the Sunni. He destroyed the golden calf. He ground it up. He destroyed it. The Sunnis will be destroyed. Sunniism will be destroyed by Elijah. So when he came back, he destroyed it. He destroyed the golden calf. He just ground it up, right? And he made the Levites drink of it, because that's what they're going to be drinking of during the tribulation. And Elijah's going to put it on their ass, because he taught them for all those years, and then he fell for that Farrakhan, that BS. See? That's part of their punishment during tribulation. It says Elijah's going to inflict it on them. They're going to make them drink of that golden calf all ground up. I mean, the Sunnis, the ones they were loving and praying so much, right, is going to be attacking them during that time. See? The ones they was loving and praying with. Because by definition, they was calling Elijah Muhammad a liar and calling Master Muhammad a fraud. So, I taught you 40-something years. You let somebody, you stand with somebody to call me a liar after I gave my life for you in 40-something years? And you let me, and then you stand and pray with somebody that's openly calling me a liar? You think Elijah Muhammad's going to be happy with that? No, he's going to ground it up and make them drink it. Okay, drink this now. You should have knew better. You better read Exodus again. And then it takes Suleiman, he takes out the demons. Suleiman takes out the demons. And Master Muhammad, who he takes out. See? He defeats the dragon, but it takes Elijah, he actually destroys them. That's the golden calf. But Master Muhammad, he knocks out the devils and the Dajjal. Falls Israel. Suleiman knocks out the demons. See? And Elijah knocks out the Sunnis. And then the final war, right, says these 10 kings will make war with the Lamb to overcome them. See? So the final war, right, will be general by the Lamb, Suleiman. It says these 10 kings, in read chapter 17, these 10 kings will make war with the Lamb, he will overcome them. So they're going to make war. See, when we're home in peace and security, when the whole of the world is raging, is hell all around us, but we calm, peace, security. Remember, it says they threw Abraham in the flames, but Allah said, oh, flames be cool for Abraham, so it was cool for him, it was burning up everybody else. Remember the fiery flame of Daniel? So the whole world is going to be in flames, except for us in the Middle East. We're going to be protected by Master Muhammad. And then after they finished tearing the world apart, and they got control of it, right? Then it says they're going to come, these 10 kings, they're going to come against us. See, against the Lamb. See, but Master Muhammad's going to be the Air Force, and you're going to be the ground force. So it's going to take 6 months to bury the dead. It's going to be such a war. That's the final one. We finally destroy everybody, all our enemies. So you Sunnis out, so you out there listen to Farrakhan, you got a nice drink coming your way. You're going to be drinking that golden calf. See? Because that's a big mistake. I do that Sunnism, the jinn, I mean, I see out of your damn mind. You're sitting there praying and associate with somebody's calling Elijah Muhammad. After all he's done for you, you would know anything Islam, and they call him a liar and call you a god, a fraud, and you're sitting there praying with these people. I mean, we almost. I mean, I'm not locking out people because after 400 years, what do you expect? But man, I mean, come on. Every people at least respect their God, whether it's false or not. Now you got a living God and you don't respect him. You diss him like that. Associate with people that call him a fraud, and you don't know any better than that. You talking about you with Elijah Muhammad? What you think was the consequence of that? How do you think Elijah Muhammad going to relate to that? How you going to deal with it? He tell you how he's going to deal with it. He's going to be mad. He's going to kick your ass for it. That's why you're going through a tribulation. That's why you're not going to be delivered. How could you be deceived by this lying Farrakhan with signs all around him? He disemboweled. I mean, what does Allah have to do to show you this man is corrupt no damn good? Moving his balls. He don't have no woolly hair like Suleiman's supposed to have. Call himself son of man. He's a coward. His mother tried to boil him 3 times. Talking about he's a holy child called by God. Why? Tell his mother tried to boil his ass. His father's a devil. He ain't produced anything in 40-some years. He didn't see COVID coming. He didn't see nothing coming. He talks in generalities. I mean, I can go on and on with this clown. So you see by him, you deserve everything you get. Anyway, brothers and sisters, I hope I made it clear to you. So I'm going to close out here, right? So I hope I made it clear to you beacons out there. See, and you potential beacons. See, you got a hell of a responsibility. See? Because the people are coming. The Quran tells you they're coming in companies. And remember, we got that brief period between the time the war starts until false Israel goes under siege. So we got how many days that is? That's how much time you got to work in. Because once they're going to siege, right, that's when you start making all the people, right, all those people that's around you, that you're drawn to you, because you're a beacon, you're drawn to you, right, that's when you start moving. You start moving them on, right, to those places I told you. Because that's where we're going to be at now, the area, Michigan, Detroit region, Indianapolis, Indiana, right, and Chicago, Illinois. That's the reason all black folks in this country are going to be the ones that survive, sense enough to get out of town, and they're going to depend on you to guide them, right? They depend on this message that they don't even know they depend on right now. It says this message will be the gospel we preach in all the world, then the end will come. So I tell you that we just the last thing to happen. It's the last war they'll get, and then the end will come, and that will happen. See, so we're preparing for that now. So brothers and sisters, you have to decide. See, you sisters out there that's angel warriors, right? You have nothing to worry about. You're gonna be taken care of. You're producing. If you're producing our future. That's what it's all about. So you have nothing to worry about. You're doing everything you're supposed to do. You're doing, because that's what it's all about. It's all about our future, and you producing our future. Without that, this mess would be nothing. So you're doing a glorious thing. You're doing what this is all about. See? So you don't need to be discouraged or be in anxiety and all that stuff about what's going on. You already doing the greatest thing that you're supposed to be doing. Now you brothers out there, right? You got to take care of these sisters. But the point is that you have to decide, are you going to be a beacon? How bright a beacon you're going to be? I'm giving you the fuel. Are you using that fuel to brighten your light, or using the fuel you're taking blowing it on, watching football, playing games, partying? Because your light will only bright as you make it. And I'm giving you the fuel. And the brighter your light is, the more people are going to be saved. It's up to you, brothers and sisters. Hope you understand. Assalamu alaikum.